Hi, Kathleen.
What's up, girls?
I'm Jamie, and we are Momproof. We're back, and it's season 3, episode 1.
Yes, ma'am.
Talking about the art of being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Boom.
Yes.
It's on our logo even.
It is. We have a logo. We're official.
If you're
to
watching,
share.
you can look.
Yes. Yeah. But it's been a few months since we've been back together, and it's nice. It feels good. I miss y'all.
I know.
Yes, since
Life got
spring.
busy. Yeah.
Since spring, we haven't seen each other. Well, we know we've seen each other. We just haven't been able to get into the studio.
Right.
Right.
Because life is busy.
Good for us, though.
Yes.
To, take a break and honor needing to pause.
I think pausing is really good. We want to share some tips with our friends and listeners, right?
We do.
And pausing is important. And that's why we started in the beginning, is to share some of our experiences as moms and friends and
I guess as women.
Yes.
Because, as we started planning for this season, I think what kept coming up was how we wanted to say and show and model being accountable for just who we're becoming. I mean, we're not done becoming. We are definitely in the process of becoming. But it's nice to have some ahas along the way.
Yeah.
So when will we become?
I don't know.
What will we become when we become?
As an English teacher, we could break that word down into suffixes. Anyway, we won't do it. But I mean, it's neat, right? I mean, think about when we started the podcast and we were talking about raising our daughters as
sending them
off.
Yes.
And we felt kind of at a loss. I don't know about y'all, but since then I feel much more grounded. I think we have to kind of share with our listeners, like, how did we get from there to here in one short year?
It does. Can you believe it's been a year?
Yeah.
I mean, really, it has been.
But it hasn't been without bumps.
Not at all.
I'm sorry, y'all. I've had a year. Shoot.
Don't even do that. Oh, LML?
LML. I do love my life. Yeah, you do have to squeeze that in there, right?
She has a hat. She has a hat now.
I do. Okay. Thank you, Skylar Soleil.
Oh, shout out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about, okay, so let's think through, like, one time since we've been on the show together that we felt like we hit a bump, but we learned something through it maybe. And I definitely want to talk about the Enneagram. I know we're going to get there, but I just want to say, listeners, we got to share something with you. But let's talk about like bumps and humps too. Like, can you think of something where you felt like you were hitting a hump or bump with your kid, your spouse, your partner, and now you're like, dude, I mean, that worked out.
Yeah, I think being a parent of adult children teaches you different lessons.
Yeah.
Right? I have older kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
I've gone to six. Oh, yes. And then the last, her leaving though, I felt like I lost my baby. You guys had kids at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take away from your kid going off. I think if it's the first or the last, it's still.
Or any time in between.
Right.
Yeah.
It's that you may have one more left, you're okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels that way.
So it was different. It's definitely been different and a loss, but then also just so incredibly grateful to be close by. I kind of felt for you, Sandra, in a few times of your girl's not close by in another state.
Shout out for the West Coast.
Yeah. That's
I mean, and I know we, during the break, it was kind of like doing a lot of introspective, kind of of ourselves and, kind of
central nervous system.
Yeah.
I mean, you dove in hardcore, which was really helpful.
But I'm at a stoplight and I go like this.
Feel
okay, right there.
But I think like I thought I had it all together, and then she came home for the summer, and when she came home, it was a shocker for me because it was like I had already gotten into a routine with Colin, and then she comes in, and then you're kind of like, whoa, we got to reincorporate. And then I got used to her being here, and then she left again, and that hit me. Yeah. So, it was like it hit me, but the only thing I kept thinking is like, I've been here before.
Good one.
I recovered from it then, and I can recover now, but.
Yeah. Well, how do you think we share with people, like, how do you choose to recover, and I'm not meaning about addiction, right? Let's not go, that's a whole different path of recovery. But like, when you do have the bumps and then we got to learn something from it to go forward. So what did you take away, I guess, from that?
I think it's just going back and recalling, how I felt at that time and how I got over it. It's kind of like they said, this is going to pass. Like the feelings will pass. And then, you progressively, it's getting over that hump of how you feel, bringing you down. But I mean, that's happened to me with work. I took on a project too that was way too stressful for me. And I had to step back from it because it was setting me back on my nervous system work. So it's just kind of like you start to listen to your body and how you feel, and that you need to take some action to correct what's happening or to kind of center yourself again.
Good one.
I think that's really important. And people sometimes don't stop until, I don't want to say it's too late, but you've gone so far to the end of the stress and the new job. And whether it was a new job, but you gave yourself time. You were in it for a while, thinking I can get through it. And then you have to be able to look in the mirror and say, you know what, this is not working for me. That's a very difficult decision to make and tough thing to do.
How do we pass it to our kids, though? Think about that one. Like, watching them make decisions that may not be in their best interest, or let's say sticking in a university that isn't their fit. And we didn't have any of that in our instances. But I mean, I think using the Enneagram, I'm going to dive into that, has been, amazing. I know that people have taken Myers-Briggs or all different kinds of personality tests. This has been one of the most accurate. And we do have a book we wanted to recommend, The Wisdom of the Enneagram, by Riso and Hudson. We'll have that on our website. But I have to say, if you go to truity.com, TRUITY.com, take a free Enneagram. This allows you to kind of go into these different personalities. There's 9. Find what works for you that has created your personality. Which, believe me, people, we have personality traits for a reason. These are how we've gotten to where we are in life. So a lot of it is very much about coping and how we build relationships. But I think the ahas I'm having and I want to impart to the kids and to my spouse is just how a lot of that is kind of a facade. That it's a go-to, but in some cases, not the most authentic go-to, not the most rewarding go-to. So for an example, and this is a true example. My mother passed away in the last 4 months, and I did not feel those feelings until about, 6 days ago, when it hit me like a mofo, unbelievable grief. But I had done my Enneagram survey. I had figured out I was a 3. I'd read up on a 3. It has been life-changing. So
what are the top traits of a 3?
Oh yeah.
How does that correlate to you? Do you hold things in? Are you what?
Everyone's feelings matter but my own. I wonder why I'm a therapist.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it's ding. Being able to achieve and do rather than sit and feel. And I think our numbers, by the way, and I've shared this with y'all, our numbers 8, 7, and 3 are the most compatible out of all the numbers.
Really? See, we're going to do this to the day we die.
Or at least we all have the same mission, which is like we want to create impact. And think about sharing that with your kids, how if they understood some of their kind of go-to defense mechanisms, which tend to look like a personality, which is great. We're all developing our personalities, but some of it has to be peeled back. And then when I sat still long enough, I wasn't having a glass. Jamie hates this. I didn't have a glass of wine in my hand. I know, Jamie. I'm sorry. But wow.
See, that's so pure, though.
No, it was so pure. Right? It was hard. I cried a lot. It
Good
hurt.
for you, though.
It was a boo-hooing, ugly cry.
Oh.
Finally, y'all.
But
that's
sometimes
so
you need
important.
that. Yeah.
Right. Tell me about what you all have learned about, if you're ready, about your 7s or your 8s. So, Sandra, you're 7, James, you're 8.
Yeah.
Do you know anything enough yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear you taught me something very interesting the other day when we were talking about this.
Yeah.
Is that just because that Enneagram says you are a certain way doesn't mean you have to stay a certain way.
That's true.
And I think I tend to be intense, driven, all those really just put me behind a race
You're the
car.
leader. Yeah.
But that also means I might be missing out on a few things I can just slow down and sit in,
Ooh.
even if it's being uncomfortable.
Right.
It does go back to,
Being
you know,
uncomfortable.
I'm so super positive all the time. I see the best in everything.
Yeah.
LML, it's true. And sometimes it's okay to just say, you know what? Like, my glass is half empty today.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And it's changing.
Mhm.
It's change. And
It
as
is
we get
change.
older, we change. And I
Yep.
think this is important for our kids to see
That's true.
right now, too.
Look at
I
us
really do want to
change.
have
Yeah.
Yeah.
the kids take this and then
Yeah.
talk about it. And
Totally.
I think we should encourage all of our friends, listeners, to
Please
do the
go
same.
to Truity.
I mean, I kind of feel
.com.
like the Kelsey guys are listening on, you know, to us, so they can
Jason,
make
Travis.
y'all can bring it up on your podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
What
Take
about
the Enneagram.
What have you found on your 7? Anything that
I think
resonates?
well, the things that stuck out for me were like how I'm scared to be bored, which is so
that
true.
was so interesting. I know.
And that's huge for me. Like, it gives me anxiety to think that I don't have something filled in, right? Or that nothing really exciting's happening.
Yeah.
And
That's why she was just a no.
Yeah,
She was in New
exactly.
Orleans over the weekend.
and so that's why people say, "Wow, you just pick up and go," because
you are
that's
good at
like,
that. Spontaneity.
aspired to,
yes.
I know.
But so I like it brought it to my attention, and I practiced that yesterday. I didn't have anything going on, and instead of filling my day with a bunch of things, I was just like, I'm just gonna let it happen.
That's so
It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
so we want to challenge our listeners to do that. Take a day,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
not put anything.
Yeah.
Can you do that? Take a day and not put anything on your.
I did yesterday. And I was like trying to get up and go get my computer and look for something. I was like, nope.
Could you use your phone? Were you allowed
Well, I
to
was
look-
on my phone,
Okay.
but I
Rules.
wasn't like
We need to know the rules.
I wasn't like scheduling things.
Got it.
I just let the day flow, which is
Yes.
something unusual for me. I'm not a planner, but I like to I'm going to have this mission for today.
Yeah.
Like, I have to have a goal and I'm going to achieve this.
And you're good at that.
Right. And that's where
And
I'm
that served a
comfortable.
purpose, right?
Yeah.
Look at how successful you are as a mom, as a woman, as in your field. Isn't that interesting? So all three of us, this will be our maybe challenge to each other. We need to think about this as our what is our challenge?
Okay.
But all three of us are drivers, doers, wanting to impact and leave a mark. And it's usually like totally positive. Like, we're not trying to hurt people. But
Good
who
point.
are we hurting?
Yes.
You know,
When
why am
we're
I
not
called the
taking care of-
colonel? I'm
Yes.
called the colonel in my house for a reason, which means like Garen will go, Mom, you're doing too much. And you hear that statement like, you're doing too much. But in my case, I am doing too much.
So what are you really going to do about it?
Well, are you asking me what I want to be held accountable for right
Yes.
now? Maybe that's our end question. So
Okay,
yeah.
we can come back to it. Let's think about
Yeah.
that.
I mean, do y'all know yours? Like, if you had to be something you want to do, change, shift.
I think that would be one for me, is that it's okay. It doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with being bored, right? There's nothing wrong.
God, can we teach our kids that though? That is a good one. No, I mean, this is a great thing to model.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. I can't be in on this one. I love you. I can't. I'm not there yet. Maybe in a couple
Do
episodes.
you ever stop at your house? Like, I always think of this when I'm laying down for my 30 to 45 minute chill out. Sometimes it's a nap, sometimes it's not. It's just learning to be
Yeah.
still. Do you, I'm asking Jamie Emilio, do you sit at all at your house and not do anything?
Not really. I'm.
I mean,
Yeah.
not even laundry. Like,
Yeah.
you can't do.
Yeah.
You do.
I no. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Okay.
Because I'm decorating in my head. I'm writing my next book. It just doesn't
That's
stop.
kinda cool, though.
And I'm now that the kids are gone again. This is
Creative
the kids
license.
have come back. I'm just
They
saying
do keep
come back.
cycling back.
I'm hoping to do a little more of that because I've only been retired a little bit too.
Yeah.
Just changing jobs, so I'm
Yeah.
reinventing
True.
myself. But
True.
this does make me want to do that more. So have
Do
I done
which
it up
more?
now?
Oh, the
just stop
stilling.
for a minute.
Yeah, the still.
I did a little yoga room in my house for a minute.
Oh, there you go.
Well, you had to give that up, I thought.
I did.
Well, but the other thing that I learned from
But I
it
couldn't sit
was
still.
Yeah.
it wasn't just the fact about being bored. It was that I was moving on to things really quickly.
Mm.
Oh.
So apparently, like from the description is like, which is true. It's like, there's always something better. There's always something more. So example, when I was doing the nervous system coaching classes, I really loved it. But then, oh, well, squirrel, something else comes up. And I didn't give it enough time to develop. And so I moved on really fast. And I should have stuck with it because it's what I like. So that's what I'm doing now is just I want to go back to that and just focus on that and not, even if something else is going to come
crawling.
Yes, or through my path, I'm just going to stay on that direction and just go with it. And not
that brought you joy. You did really get lit up about that. You dove in,
but it's always the fear of missing out, right? What if that was what I was supposed to be doing instead of that? And so,
I hear that discussion, what you just said of like inner trust. Like, when is it okay to be okay being slow and making sure we change one thing really good?
Yeah.
Instead of us trying to be, I don't know. I mean,
I'm reading Think Like a Monk.
Oh, no.
I love Jay Shetty.
Oh,
and
it
is so much. I'm laughing because it is just, I am trying to slow down and it's so important. And when you're saying that, I'm thinking to myself, I'll just go through just stop and read, Jamie. Just stop and read the whole book.
She wants to read the Cliff Notes. Cliff Notes.
Hey, he's got his podcast on that one is really good. That particular episode,
it is.
Even, yeah.
Yes, he's
Think Like a Monk.
It is so important, and I think we need to really work on that as parents to pass that on to our kids and a little bit more. I could definitely improve in that area of telling my kids to just
think about it. If we just
slow down a minute.
Busy, we just model busy with our actions, our words, and our minds. And they now have the technology that now is an external version of that. We are going to create anxiety. I mean, think about the anxiety, right? I mean, let me put my therapist cap on, but the anxiety is off the charts. In a new study, the CDC just released their 2024 information where they do the youth risk behavior survey. We used to do this in our district and got very unsettling data. And no one wants that. No one wants to hear that 35% of the kids feel that there's nobody that cares about them. More than half feel that they're anxious on a regular basis. That was in 2017 and 2018. So the CDC just put out the newer one. And
so what can parents do? What's the top two things?
The top two things are model,
calm,
quiet, phones down, sitting together, doing nothing.
God, we're right back to that family of just eat dinner together. Spend some time together.
Remember this?
Go outside.
We're human beings, not human doers. Like when we are human beings for a reason, there's a time we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is like becoming.
Yes.
That, Lake Travis just passed, for middle school anyway, kids
and elementary,
are not,
K through 8.
They're not allowed to have phones during school hours.
Love it.
And and I think elementary was a little bit more manageable, but when they get to middle school, they all have phones.
Ooh.
And this was the first year they did it. But usually, like if I'm in the car with my son, I'm like, no phone at dinner, but no phone in the car. Just leave it at home.
Those are good.
But he calls me out and he's like, well, you have your phone.
Oh, I know.
You have your phone.
Oh, shoot. Can this be a do as I say, not as I do?
No.
So when you're saying modeling.
You said, what can parents do? One
You're
thing
right.
is modeling.
You're right.
There's modeling and then there's dialoguing.
You're right. And then I am a grandparent of a 10-year-old.
You are a grandparent of a 10-year-old. He is so smart.
I can give him back. I don't want to be, I feel for y'all. I just don't want to be a parent in these times right now. It's very difficult of young kids. That's what I mean. They're smart whippersnappers.
This is the first generation. I think they said the 2012ers, 2011, 2012 are the first generation that were born with the device. Have it when they were 2 months old, but you get what my point is. They came in the generation of the technology and the iPhones and so forth. And we're seeing the results of that brain, change. And so we have to remember as parents, let's just enjoy sitting and doing. That's my, like, if y'all are gonna keep me accountable,
figure out what that is.
I'd like
to once a week, once a month,
once a day for
me.
Once
a day.
All right. I mean, once a month.
I'll do once a month.
30 minutes for once a month.
I'm going to go once a day for
shoot.
15 minutes. I would like to do nothing
Okay.
and have no device, no book, no
Okay,
TV.
so we're going to check in.
Check in on me, please.
Are
You
we
be my
going to do it in a
accountability
month or every other month? You can bring a little whiteboard.
You're my accountability partners.
Okay,
you could
let's
check
do it.
in on me.
We're the APs.
You're the APs.
Remember the APs
AP?
at the Air Force Base? Air Force Police.
Oh,
They scared me.
yeah, that's
APs.
true. We call them
Accountability
MP,
police.
military police.
Oh,
MP.
maybe I have that right. It's been a while. Wrong. The colonel
That's
knows.
mine though, but you don't have to do that same one. But I think that would be very beneficial for me to
Okay.
sit still.
Mine is going to be to focus on one thing.
Ooh, I like that.
Like, just stay on one-
during a day or just one thing you're learning?
just in general, as far as where I want to be.
Okay.
Right? Like, instead of looking for 50 million things to do, just focus on one, which is going to be the nervous
Your
system,
nervous system. That's lovely.
work, and then just stick with that.
Yeah, that's great. So you'll please, if I can help you be accountable, can you come share us like a new resource next time?
Yes.
When we, maybe like episode 3 or something when we
Yeah.
had some time. Yeah, that'd be cool. And I'll keep sharing Enneagram stuff. I keep finding really good stuff.
I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah. I love that.
And accountability isn't necessarily one of my like number 3. You have to do that, but that's the beauty of this kind of framework.
I
It's
think
not
it's really
like
good. I was listening to a podcast recently, and these gals had set these goals and were checking in. So I like that. I mean, it is modeling good behavior for others to do the same.
Yeah. What about yours?
I'm going to sit tight in one space. I'm constantly kind of like you, Sandra, on to the next project, on to the next thing, but I tend to just do big things at one time. So I'm going to just dial it back, enjoy the space that I'm in.
Physically and mentally and
physically.
emotionally. Physically.
Mhm.
Okay, got you.
And really just
embrace.
stay there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and embrace it more.
That's neat.
And I'm going to do that by making myself stay at home and be quiet and just
Right. So there's
be
layers
from
of what that
that
looks like.
really is. I joke
Mhm.
about not being able to do it, but I am
You can do it.
going to do it.
Mhm, I like that. Well, and and our environments are shifting, whether you're adding people to your home.
Yes,
Or-
like I don't know, a boyfriend's moving in or something.
What?
It keeps getting more serious. Have I mentioned I have an amazing boyfriend?
Yes. LML for Eric.
For Eric. Love my life.
Well, and I mean, it's so cool that our environments, are shifting, and we are preparing for another one to leave my nest
Mhm.
in May coming up. And you've got one that transitioned into a new level of school from
Yeah.
middle school, and that just does shift the landscape.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
As they become more independent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And he might, want to do more. Girls start showing up. Who knows?
Ugh.
Who knows?
Again.
Oh, God.
Did I mention I'm happy I'm not a parent?
Yeah, but your grandson will probably, with that personality, he'll be like by next
Yeah.
year. Of a
No, but
special-
I did learn to appreciate that a little bit more, though. I think, like, for Sophia to leave kind of made me more, like, you complain about carpool, you complain about
Oh, I miss it.
schedules. And I think with him, he's playing football, and I've been, like, really conscious of going to the practices, doing more than my share of the carpool. And I don't feel like I have to. I just feel like I want to, because time goes by so fast. And, like, before I know it, he'll be in high school. He's going to be driving.
Girl.
And then
That's it.
I'm not even going to have that
It does
time.
go
So I'm just kind of looking at it like I really only have maybe 3 years.
Of like where you're like in the car,
Yes,
and he's
that's
kind
right.
of yours.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember the one that I have, and it's not my own phrase, but having a son lets you experience the slowest, most heartbreaking breakup you'll ever go through.
Dang, that was heavy.
I'm just saying, because so then embrace the
What?
beauty. They're breaking up with you, dude. The
I
boys
know.
leaving.
I know, they do.
They
They do.
launch. The girl
I mean,
always
I
wants-
may have one that just
What?
never calls me. That's okay. I don't want to call him out or anything. That happens. Boys are different.
they
no
break
doubt.
up with us,
Yeah.
but they. I mean,
But
in a good. I mean, it's
It's
a
true.
healthy
That's
breakup.
what we're meant to do is
Oh yeah,
these kids go be adults.
Remember
right.
the tuning out of our voices,
Mhm.
the kids
Yeah.
as they go through
Yeah.
adolescence, and the mom's voice.
Adulting.
Like, what?
They're
Yeah.
adulting. Yes. Yes. So that's important though. So we're going to hold each other accountable for
Yep.
slowing down. And we're
Yep.
really going to encourage other parents out there to do the same thing. Parents,
Absolutely.
friends, take the Enneagram test.
Yes.
Truity.
Yeah,
for me to say.
TRUITY,
Mhm.
Truity.
We'll put it on the website.
We'll put it on the website, and we'll
social
put a
media.
couple of resources
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that they can look at for further analysis.
Yes.
So you did a really good job of putting questions in a little jar. I'm kind of excited about this.
I'll
We're
draw
going to do something. Okay, do it.
Oh, no, you go.
Oh, like you're right there. Okay. All right. So something new. It's very exciting. Is it a fortune too? We could do a
It
fortune.
could be. Oh,
telling.
remember who got the no fortune? Didn't somebody post that? Okay, anyway.
Okay. I don't know.
It was blank, and apparently it's a really good sign.
Oh my gosh. In the quest to raise a responsible adult, have you discovered any unexpected parenting hacks, like using motivational speeches as a bribe for doing laundry?
Whoa.
Okay.
Motivational hack.
You know what mine is? I'm a sticky note mom.
Oh, yeah, that's
sticky
true.
notes are all over.
That's
Love
so
you,
cute.
love you, love you. You're
Mhm.
amazing.
Mm.
I like
So
the one
yours- Go ahead.
that says you can't have the internet password until you empty the
That one is-
dishwasher. Those are good.
Those are good briberies.
Yeah.
But do you find your sticky notes you don't they're not reminders, and you really do try to just keep them as positive suggestions or?
I do. I also use them not just as reminders, but as just little tips. I mean, just to say, take a minute. Hey, you are that amazing. Look in the mirror. I've done that with them. Look in
Maybe
the
I got
mirror.
to do that one.
And tell yourself you're great.
Mhm.
It's important, whether you think you are or not.
Say it out
You have
loud.
to say it out loud. You have to say, you know what? I'm great. I'm all kind of messed up in a lot of ways, but I'm also great.
That's cool.
You know,
I like that.
It's important to
Yeah.
do that. We're in a really weird world.
Yeah.
So,
I
what
think
you
my
got?
sticky notes have just
What
been
you got?
like, call the courthouse for your speeding ticket, right? That's right.
The hacks. What are the hacks?
I know. I'm trying to think of another hack. Sandra, tell me.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this counts, but I found speaking in a quieter tone
When you pulled out last time. That was good.
to get his attention as opposed to screaming. And also, like, when you talk about accountability, it's when they do have something to say, like, even if it's a comeback, is just stay quiet and listen. And then if I really did do something wrong, just apologize.
Yes.
Which that's work.
So that's the
because-
hack.
Yeah.
That's a
hack
good
is
one.
like own it. Own
Yeah.
it if you have to apologize.
Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can top either of those ladies. And I'm not trying to top it. See, that was my 3. That's the Colonel.
Yeah.
The Colonel just
there
came
she
in.
is. There she is.
I think the thing I'm learning with this second one is his language of love is texting. So there's a lot of communication through texts, and it's not always a reminder or something that's positive, but it's just being able to listen to what he's saying and really respect, his voice. And sometimes it's, not now, Mom. I'm like, oh, okay.
Not now.
What can I ask when a good time would be? How does 3 o'clock sound? Like my therapist would say, why do you have to schedule spontaneity in your life? And I'd be like, oh, touche.
Oh,
So he's teaching me
there
that.
it
I think a
is.
hack is learning to listen to someone's love language. And in his case, it's to be really respectful of his time. Yeah.
That's good. I like
I
it.
know.
Nice job.
Oh.
All right. So in our next episode,
Yep.
we're going to talk some more about the Enneagrams because
We
they
are.
really are cool. And we
And
wanna
some
share that.
accountability, but also just like real important nuts and bolts on teaching them life skills.
Parenting. This is why we're doing this. And really, it is about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. So let's end with that.
Yay.
I'm comfortable now. Y'all are
Yes.
awesome. Okay.
Yay. Thanks.
Until next
Thank
time.
you.
Adios.